Okay, I'm going to share some stuff today that relates to horses, or maybe it's where horses have been instrumental in helping me experience miracles. So it's really a beautiful day outside today, but it's pretty windy, so we're going to just do it right here. There's a lot of polarity going on right now and has been going on. It feels like it's been increased a lot in the last year and a half, maybe even a bunch of years. Polarity, what I mean by polarity is a strong force of perspective, like this is good, that's bad, this is the only way, no, that's not the way, this is the way, like just really labeling something as good or bad, basically. So there's a tool, and it comes from Access Consciousness. It's called Interesting Point of View. Interesting Point of View. And it's a way to get out of polarity. Why would you want to not be so much in polarity? It's because when we have this certain vision of how we see something, that especially when we don't like it, we don't agree with it, when we're against it, we actually like increase the strength to which the thing that we are against has like fortifies itself. And so we're actually keeping ourselves stuck, keeping the reality stuck. So even if, like with a horse, if I'm like, oh well, this it's just like this, or that's just a bad thing, or that's, just some kind of like way of seeing something, that doesn't help anything to shift or change. It just creates more resistance, and the other being or the other person involved or whatever can sense that energy, and they're going to match the resistance in some way. It doesn't allow things to shift. Instead, what we can do is be aware, wow, I have this really strong point of view, and then create space. When we're curious, let's say if there was a horse training issue and it's like, well, it's just like this and this is the only way. I can't think of any good examples because I really, I seem to be able more now to just be curious and be in the space. But if you had a perspective, there's a way to be aware that you have this strong point of view, and then be curious. You can also say, gosh, I wonder what else is possible here that I haven't considered before. Okay, so kind of all over the place. Interesting point of view is a thing that you can say. So I'm going to give you an example of where I use this, and you can see how it changed my reality. I was in Florida for the winter, and I had not been able to find work with kids, with horses, whatever. I was actually like struggling, and so I got this job at this racetrack like training place, and I was cleaning stalls for my set of horses and feeding them and dealing with all these horses that didn't have good manners and not helping them, just trying to get from one place to another, and working with this group of people that were also in the crew. The guy that was on the back side of the barn from where my 6 stalls were, all day long I could just hear him cussing and swearing and yelling at the horses. I guess I'm not gonna say it here, but you blade, you get your blah 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 blah, like all day long, constantly. And the way we did it with feeding was, on his day off, I would go and feed his horses, and I knew them, and they weren't bad horses. I didn't understand why I was being so cruel. So while I was cleaning the stalls, I would hear him, and of course I noticed myself thinking, oh, that's horrible. That's damaging. Like, those words and those thoughts have energy and they hang in the air, and you don't talk to horses like this. Like, what happened to you? Who was so cruel to you? I'm like psychoanalyzing all this stuff, and I realized that that's not it's not good for me, for my energy, to just be there. And so I used this tool. So cleaning the stalls, listening to him swear, and I noticed the thoughts coming up like, there's a better way to talk to horses, to be around horses. You can be kind. You don't have to. And then I would use this tool. So I'd say, oh, interesting point of view that I have this point of view that I know a better way to be around horses. Interesting point of view that cursing and swearing at horses and feeling violent is bad. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Interesting point of view that I think I know a better way. Interesting point of view that I think somebody must have been unkind to this guy. I just kept saying, interesting point of view. Interesting point of view, I think this is bad. Interesting point of view that I think that I could be enjoying this job if I didn't have to hear him. So I just kept saying it, and it actually like neutralized, like it just created space where I didn't have so much resistance to how he was choosing to be. And I didn't expect anything to happen besides just that I would have more space. And I just, I'd hear him say something, you goddamn crazy bitch. Sorry. To the horses. And then I was able to joke, like I got that song stuck in my head again. And I didn't have to interact or whatever. But actually, so here's what changed after I used the tool. I recognized that in our interactions, instead of him feeling my like energy of against him or resistant or like, uh-oh, watch out for that guy. Because we would have to kind of like trade off, like, sharing space, moving horses around and things like that. Our interactions were pretty good, pretty pleasant, And then I think it was like 2 weeks after, it wasn't more than 2 weeks, after just remembering, oh yeah, use this tool, interesting point of view. When I noticed my polarity coming up, one day he just wasn't swearing at the horses at all. But I could tell he was over there. And I was like, John, are you okay? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm just a little tired. I never heard him swear at the horses from that day on, maybe just only like one time. That's amazing, right? What a miracle. So from that, I realized, I was like, wow. So me being the space, like it created a space where he could choose something different. And I wasn't doing it to try to get him to choose something different, because that would still be an agenda. But it somehow allowed, I don't know, it was pretty cool. I shouldn't say I don't know, because I do know. So how to apply this if you want to try this tool. I'm all itchy today. You can use it in your relationships. You can use it with maybe money, like interesting point of view. I have this point of view that horses just take all your money, they're expensive, or that I can't afford this. Interesting point of view. Like any belief or thing that where you wish that it would change, you feel kind of stuck, just like you can notice. I think I'm saying it already. You can notice you can create space around it. So let's say you have a teenager. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view that they should be doing X, Y, Z and not this. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. So when you get to that space of neutrality, it doesn't even feel like neutrality, but just, yeah, I guess it's just sort of like, okay, that's just a choice. It doesn't mean this is the end of the world, this is bad, might be their journey. You still can have your preference, like I would prefer that this wasn't happening, but this isn't my choice. You can create space for them to choose something different. And even maybe you can create space for them to hear your thoughts in your preferences while still they feel the space they have to choose. I'm going to stop it here because I've been making such long videos. I do have another thing to share. So, wonder if I have any other examples of interesting point of view. I know that I have some, but I can't think of them right now. Okay, hope you're having a great day, whatever kind of day you would like to have, and stay safe and have fun. And I will share another miracle with horses that the horses showed me when I was using the just awareness and tools and being curious and open to try stuff.